glorious afternoon again. I could get used to all this weather. I thought I'd give you a break from cake, and I decided I'm going to make some biscuits. Really easy, really simple. I haven't made biscuits for a while, so a little bit of a challenge for myself. Also, just before I start, big thank you to all my new subscribers. Really appreciate that. Thank you, and I hope that you stay, and I'm interesting enough that you do stay. That would be really, really lovely. Anyway, so, right, we're staying really, really simple with this. I do apologise, my dishwasher is going off in the background. Easy ingredients. I can't find my cutters. I'm going to have a look while this is chilling, see if I can find them. Otherwise, I'm just going to make some up, which is brilliant because, again, you don't need cutters. It's just if you want to shape. Alright, we've got our basics. We've got our caster sugar, 1 egg yolk, plain flour. I'm actually using, this is another plain flour. So you actually have a couple of plain flours in Mirror Market in Shepton Marett. This one is type 500. So I normally use the other plain flour for sauces. So we're going to give this one a go. Block of butter. And don't forget the vanilla. Also, because I don't want them too plain, I want them to have a little bit of taste to them, I'm actually going to add a tablespoon of chocolate powder and some chocolate chips. So, we're not using the KitchenAid today. Not everybody actually out there has a mixer or any form of mixer. It doesn't have to be a KitchenAid. Just general mixer. So we're going to do this all by hand. And I do actually prefer to make biscuits by hand because you feel the texture and you know when it's wet or if it's too dry. Right, we're going to start. This part I'm not going to do by hand. We're going to use a wooden spoon. So, in goes the sugar. Again, sometimes I do prefer to use the soft brown sugar because it just gives that nice little caramelised taste, which is quite nice. Alright, I'm going to put in a little bit of butter. Well, actually, no, we're not going to put it all in because it's stuck and it's messy. So, there we go. That is 1 whole block of butter. And I'm actually going to scrape that off. Waste not, want not. So that you can butter all side of toast with that, what I scraped off. Alright, and that we're just going to mix nicely. See, this is where you prefer, oh, I want to use a mixer. But, again, mixer just for this bit. Worth it. So, I'm going to talk to you as I attempt to mix the sugar in with the butter. Replies anybody, what temperature are you at today? Quite cooling down here, we're only at 26. It's not too bad, we've got a nice breeze coming through. I've actually got my doors open. So I've got a nice breeze going through the house. If you just joined, we're making biscuits. I'm doing it by hand instead of using the KitchenAid because, again, not everybody has one. And it's to show you can have treats no matter. You don't have to have all this equipment. You didn't have equipment years ago, so let's just do it this way. I know sometimes a bit of a pain, but you know, it actually looks really good. So once we start adding everything else in, I love the emojis and stickers. They're pretty cool. So love it. Alright. Because of this heat, it's really good. The butter is nice and soft. So I haven't had to wait too much. That is a problem. If you are going to do this, make sure your butter is soft. There we are. See? A nice, creamy, sugary, buttery texture. So that, don't worry about it, guys. I'm going to stand here and talk to you while it's chilling because that's just a little bit much. Alright. There we go. Can actually start mixing this a little bit better. Oh, thank you for the emojis. Love it. They're really quite cute. Right. we are. So that's the sort of texture we're looking with our butter and sugar. Into that, we're going to add just egg yolk. So yeah, separating time. In goes your egg yolk. Again, get that all out. A little bit of vanilla or whatever. Well, I can see lots and lots of stickers at the moment. We all see stickers. Alright. I need a capful, not too much. You don't want to overpower it. And then we get back to the mixing. Again, mix that nice and there we go. Quite lucky with this side so I can actually reach them. I've actually been on side too high and you end up on tippy toes like this. Ridiculous. And then obviously there are sides that are just a little bit too low. Right. Here comes the boring bit. Right, 300 grams of flour, all nice and all weighed up. What we're going to do, we're going to add half of it. We're going to sieve it through. Hate sieving, especially ice sugar, it gets everywhere. Right. This isn't too bad actually. Okay, I lied. It's not as bad as ice and sugar, it's not so sticky. Alright, put half of that in. To that, we're going to add our chocolate chips. And then we're going to add our chocolate powder. But again, as I said, don't need much of this stuff, it's pretty good. Just going to go for a tablespoon. There we are. Alright, give that a bit of a mix. You'll see it start to come together, hopefully. Alright. And if you can, pull it off the sides where it's sticking. There we go. So it's sort of looking a bit like this. A little bit all separated at the moment. Hopefully, when I add the next lot, you're going to see some sort of form of dough coming. Alright. Yeah, I thought we'd give the cake a break because we had enough with the cake. It was going to be cake. But we'll see how long these will last in my house. Tell you what, there we are. Alright. I want most of the flour all mixed in now. So we're going to sieve the rest of it. Boring. Yeah, sorry guys. Right. Now we can continue to mix it in. So you really are going to start seeing your dough starting to form. Alright. If you try and sort of almost aim into the batter, it split the batter, which means that the flour will go inside, which means that it'll bind a little bit better. Alright. I think it's going to be a final scrape and my hands are going to have to go in. I'll make sure as much butter as mixed in as possible so it doesn't stick to my fingers. Waste mixture. But yeah, this is really easy. This is off the BBC, so you can find this recipe. I've just added a few little bits to it to make it a little bit more interesting. Actually, moving the flour around, just as I said, move it in a little bit more because I don't want butter all over my fingers or anything else. It's quite gross. But as I said, you are going to have to get your nails in. You are going to have to get your nails in. You are going to have to get your hands in to form your dough. I think we're doing pretty good here. Yep, it is ready. So, you're looking, let's give this a bit of a scrape and get all the butter off. If you're unsure about what your consistency should look like, that is what we're sort of looking for with all the flour mixed in before you get hands in. So there's no need to get really messy hands, and that puts a lot of people off. I hate that when I'm eating. If I can't wash my hands after I've done like a whole plate full of hot chicken, it's not happening. Right, easiest way, you don't want to dump your hands straight in. Pick it up from the sides and flatten it down into that. If you're not happy with like sort of the feel of this sort of stuff, this is going to be the best way. And then you can use your other hand as you bring it up to compact it down a bit. And all you want to do is keep sort of compacting it into each other. Do you know what? I think I might have to actually add a little bit more butter. I think that butter wasn't. It was only 200 grams. Guys, looking about 250 grams of butter. Let's see how we go with this, to be honest. Because I don't really want to open another pack of butter just for 50 grams. Always, I'm going to try and compact this as much as possible. But, there we go, see. This is where I'm actually standing on tippy toes at the moment because I want to get inside the bowl. And obviously I want more of a dough, and it is coming along. I am tempted to add a tiny bit more butter. So let's have a look. It's not too bad actually. See? There we go. And that is the sort of look you want for all of it. What I'm doing, I'm going to take out little bits at a time because I'm short. I'm going to pack them. And pack them all together. That makes it a little bit easier. There's quite a bit of mix here, guys. But again, as I said, it's something nice and easy. It's nice and cheap. And you can get kids involved with us. You know, get them messy, get them feeling the ingredients so they know where things come from. Alright, I am actually going to add a little bit of butter to this because it looks a little too dry for me. So, it looks more of a breadcrumb base. That was me. I'm going to add only about 10 grams of butter. Ugh. Oh! See? I'm going to smush it down in my hands. And then we're going to get... Oh, I was trying to avoid the smushiness. Ugh. It's like, you know... All that. So we're going to really mix that in. And already I can see a difference in the mix. It's starting to bind a lot better. So, didn't get away with that one, did I? Yeah, it needed that little extra butter. What did you do? Wake up. Alright, as I said, continue with this. This is actually, yeah, this is a lot better now. Turn it over and give it a mix. It's starting to act a lot more doughy. There we go. Alright, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to wash my hands in a minute. This is going to go in the fridge for about half an hour. And then we're going to roll it back out. Unfortunately, I'm going to do that bit on a reel. So, if you are interested, because look, there we go. I can pick the whole lot up now. See? Much better. If you're interested in finding the outcome of my biscuits, then I have to wait till later when they're all chilled and when I've actually got my reel done. But it will be up. It will be done. I've still got butter all over my fingers. But again, this is an easy way to give yourself a nice little treat without breaking the bank and keep kids occupied at the same time. But there we are. See, there we go. So that is pretty much done. So as I said, this is going to go in cling film and about 20 to 30 minutes in the fridge just to let it harden up a bit. So it's a little bit on the softy side. And then we're going to make some biscuits. I'm going to try and find some cutters if I can, but to be honest, we can't bother to get everything out. But we're going to make do with some makeshift cutters. There we go, not a nice form ball there. And I'll come back. It's later on in the day, hopefully with some nice finished biscuits and hopefully tasting great. Well, enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. If you're not subscribed, please do. Really do appreciate that as well. It really helps me out. I'm going to go wash my hands and clean from my dough mix. As I said, guys, have a lovely day no matter what you're doing. And I will hopefully catch you later. And thank you again. Take care. Bye.